Community Engagement tại Offsharing. Và hôm nay rất vui được chào đón mọi người có mặt tại buổi event ngày hôm nay. Buổi event này được tổ chức là vì mình đã bước qua 2 năm dịch diễn biến vô cùng phức tạp, và đây chính là event offline đầu tiên mà Offsharing tổ chức mở ra cho bên ngoài. Chúng ta hãy dành một giây một giây cho cái này. Và Offsharing hôm nay tổ chức ra buổi event này nhằm mục đích là muốn kết nối lại cộng đồng của Offsharing sau 2 năm bị gián đoạn bởi Covid, cũng như là muốn thông báo với mọi người rằng là Offsharing đã chính thức mở lại. Offsharing không chỉ dành cho riêng mỗi Office không, mà Offsharing còn welcome tất cả những vị khách ở bên ngoài muốn sử dụng không gian để tổ chức sự kiện hay để làm việc. Nếu mọi người có nhu cầu quan tâm hoặc biết ai có nhu cầu muốn sử dụng không gian để tổ chức event hay làm việc thì hãy liên hệ với Offsharing. Offsharing luôn luôn sẵn sàng chào đón tất cả mọi người đến với Offsharing. Và hôm nay chúng ta đặc biệt chào đón một vị khách. Anh là một Việt kiều, anh đã sống xa quê hương của chúng ta rất lâu, và hôm nay anh quay trở về đây một tuần không chỉ để giúp đỡ cũng như là chia sẻ những kiến thức kinh nghiệm cho Office không, mà anh còn muốn dành những cái kinh nghiệm về những kiến thức của anh để chia sẻ cho với cộng đồng nữa. Và đó là lý do tại sao buổi hôm nay chúng ta có một cái event networking và sharing này. Và ngay sau đây thì em sẽ chia sẻ agenda của buổi ngày hôm nay. Chúng ta sẽ có 3 phần chính thôi. Đầu tiên là phần sharing đến từ anh Nam. Anh Nam sẽ chia sẻ câu chuyện của anh Nam. Anh Nam đã xây dựng hình ảnh của bản thân như thế nào để từ đó tận dụng những cái điểm mạnh của chính bản thân anh này để xây dựng chính những cái cộng đồng của anh ấy. Thì cái phần thứ hai là sẽ là phần discussion, là anh Nam sẽ cùng trực tiếp trao đổi và thảo luận cùng với những Office, những vị khách ở đây về câu chuyện làm sao để xây dựng hình ảnh bản thân và làm sao để xây dựng cộng đồng của chính bản thân mình. Và cuối cùng là phần networking. Và đừng quên là Offsharing đã chuẩn bị sẵn một phần feedback ở phía sau, mọi người cứ thoải mái đứng lên và di chuyển để sử dụng trong suốt cái quá trình tham gia event. Và có một lưu ý là buổi ngày hôm nay anh Nam sẽ sử dụng hoàn toàn bằng tiếng Anh. Tuy nhiên là Offsharing có mời đến đây một bạn phiên dịch, bạn tên là Phương, mời bạn đứng lên để cho mọi người cùng. Vì vậy nên trong quá trình chia sẻ của anh Nam, nếu mọi người gặp bất kỳ vấn đề gì về ngôn ngữ có thể đưa ra tín hiệu hoặc là đưa ra một lời trợ giúp đến từ các Phương sẽ đến hỗ trợ mọi người và chia sẻ. Và đặc biệt là phần đặt câu hỏi hay là phần thảo luận, nếu mà mọi người không thoải mái trong việc sử dụng tiếng Anh thì hoàn toàn có thể đặt câu hỏi bằng tiếng Việt. Cương sẽ giúp mọi người dịch nó sang thành tiếng Anh để kết nối cái giao tiếp của mọi người với nhau. Và không để mọi người chờ đợi lâu hơn nữa, sau đây chúng ta sẽ cùng chào đón vị khách mời chính của buổi hôm nay, anh Nam.
Ok. Cảm ơn nhiều. I think these are the first word in English, in Vietnamese I said for the week. I'm sorry. Tom?
Yeah.
Tom, okay. So, if there's something I'm saying and you think you don't understand, please raise the hand so that Tom can translate, right? One of the things, so I should be back in a few months, and I hope I will be back several times in the years to come, and hopefully the Vietnamese part of my discussion would be bigger, right? I intend to learn Vietnamese again because when I was a child, I knew how to speak Vietnamese with my mother, with my parents, and sometimes when she talks to me, I answer her in Vietnamese, and I just don't. It just come out like anh cơm or đỏ bàng, or some words sometimes just pops out and I don't know where they come from. But I know I have a few words in my mind and I will learn again soon. Yeah. So I just wanted to thank Officiance people. Anduk is not here because he's traveling a lot. Thank Kang here, who was my host for several days. Thank Omar even, because he was helping me with the hotel. I will Chiara here, who seems to work, but she helped me find hotels too. Well, I want to thank you for your kindness, and it was a very good experience for me. Thanks everyone. So just a quick overview of my career, okay, what I do for a living. So I've started working in 1998, which is a long time ago, which is the last century actually. I've started working for advertising agencies and worked for very different brands. I worked for Louis Vuitton. I worked for Orange as an advertiser. I worked for Nissan. I worked for so many, for bank brands, for media. I worked for Canal Plus. It's a big media in France. I worked for a lot of brands. That's why in advertising and marketing I have a very quite large culture of the different problematics you can have in the marketing world. Then I moved to Microsoft, first in the Microsoft advertising teams as a strategy planner. Strategy planner is that you talk to the biggest advertiser and you try to foresee what they should do on the long term. But I transformed that into a creative team. So I was managing a creative team of 10 people for many years. And I moved to Xbox team. During 2 years, I worked on the launch of the Xbox One. So you're gaming, right? Like, I think in Vietnamese, you're more like PC gamers, right? Not console gamers, right? More PC game, right? So that was in 2013. Then I moved to Facebook into the advertising business again. So I manage a lot of advertisers like these one, but inside Facebook. I also manage a program for charity organizations for a few years, for 4 years. I even got an award for that. I got a prize from a charity called Communication Without Borders. They give me a prize for what I did. And at the end of Facebook, I was working for the French government. So I was helping the French government understand Facebook, Instagram, all these tools, so they can communicate to the citizens. You okay? You're okay? No translation needed? It's fine? Okay?
One anecdote, we can say that when you started as a media agency that you co-founded, so Jérôme, is the guy who
the
logo of Officience.
Yeah, one of my associates when I was one of the agency I worked for he's a guy who drew your logo actually. He's called Jérôme.
So we really know now since more than 30 years now.
Oh, yeah. Then I moved to Quant. Quant is it's a search engine, right? It's developed in Europe, and it tried to be for people that don't want to use Google, right? And I was CPO of this organization. That was until 2021. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of work project. And now 2020. Yeah, you can move to the next slide. Now, since 2000, that's less than 6 months. So since 6 months, I'm working on 5 different projects. So I wanted to have more diversity in what I was doing. I'm kind of, I like to learn, I like the adventure, I like to be on several things at the same time. So these 5 projects are the 5 projects I'm working right now. So one of the projects is about ocean transportation, and it's funded by a big American corporation, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. So I won't talk about it. I'm sorry. Because it's so critical, it will disrupt the market that I'm not allowed to talk about it. There's another project I'm working, so the funny thing, I'm working on the ocean and I'm working on the space, right? So I'm working on with a startup called Spaceable. So we're building tools to manage the satellite traffic at low orbits, right? and we create tools to anticipate the space weather that is created by the sun, because the space weather can create damages to satellites, right? So we're building tools so that in the next 5 years, the number of satellites at low orbits will be multiplied by 10 at minimum. So we'll have a lot of, that's why you've heard about Elon Musk, right, with the SpaceX rocket. So this is another part I'm working on. This is my non-profit project. This product called Home is a CRM tool, but for non-profit. So I'm working with this guy to help them survive. So they're going to be bought by another group, because I've been the intermediary between the two, and I'm helping them on the negotiation, right? I help them building the fight so they can be they will have finance, and it's going to happen. So it should be a success. I consider what I'm doing this as my fourth project, right? So I start talking with Anduk like 2 months ago, and trying to think how can I help him grow your company. And I keep saying that I believe, and after this week I believe there's a lot of potential for Officience to grow in terms of business. And the last project I have is a music label. So I want to be a music producer since I was a teenager. So I've created that brand called Studio Tiger. So Tiger is my Chinese sign, right? And so the Studio Tig is a music label because I built a music studio 2 years ago with everything you need to record instruments, musicians, and I can even have the musicians sleeping at the studio. It's a building. It's a small building. It's a building. So I've just created that structure, and there's a team of 10 people working on that label, including sound engineers, producers, and we will take artists to make them grow, okay? And that's me. So that's the real me. I mean, the way I feel, okay? This is the studio I built. You can see there's a tiger here, right? And my Chinese sign actually is tiger of wood. So you can see there's wood everywhere. So I built this place to be my place, and I'm transforming that into a music label when people is going to come and record music, okay? But I'm also a father, right? And I consider myself as a professional father because I can make a baby do selfie, right? When you can make a baby do selfie, you're a professional father, right? So this is my daughter, and look how she's good for the selfie things. This is my family. But this is my wife. As you can see, she's Asian. Actually, she's Vietnamese, but born in Russia, not in France. This is my mother. So I lost my father 2 years ago. I still have my mother. This is my daughter. This is me. This is my oldest son. He was 14, I think, then, but now he's 18. So I have a child that is an adult, which makes you feel old, you know. And this is my second son, is 15. So his name is Angzen, which it means people of peace, right? His name is Hangshen, mean the mountain of peace. And her name is Kiu Mi, mean the little girl who sings. So he has peace is his name. He has peace is his name. She doesn't have peace is the name, but she was born on September 23rd, which is the International Day of Peace. Meaning peace is part of my life. If I want it or not, it's part of my life. This is kind of feng shui sign. We were talking this lunch. So I'm kind of a peaceful guy, but quite excited. So do you think I'm happy or unhappy? What do you think? Who thinks I'm unhappy? Yeah, who thinks I'm happy? Raise your hand. Yes, I'm happy. Yeah, I'm a happy man, right? Because I have this career, and now today I have like 5 projects, one in the ocean, one in the space. Who could have dreamed of better life? And I'm also a musician, I'm producing artist, I have a family. I'm obliged to be happy, right? So how I make this, right? You can So, how did I build myself? Right? So that's the question. How did I achieve all that? So, very basic. I just follow my desires. Do I want? You know, I listen to myself. What do I want? And how do you accomplish your desires? Is by searching what your peers. So if I want to do music, I will look for musicians. If I love technologies, I will look for tech people, right? So if you know your desires, look for the people, look for the communities that is responding to that desire, right? It's very simple, right? You get that? It's clear? So that's baby me, okay? When you're a baby, the only desires you have is foods and hugs, right? You're a baby, all you want is food and hugs. Who provide that? Who can provide that? Next slide. It's mother, right? So when you're a baby, the only community you have, yeah, father, I'm sorry, it's true. When you're a baby, the only thing that matters is the mother. So it's your mom. That's when you were born. That's the first community you have is mother. Then you grow up, right? And as a grown-up me, your desire is more than food and hugs, right? Food is fine, hugs is fine, but you want more than that. Then you start discovering intellectual things, physical things. So you're getting more complex. So that's me today. I'm 48 years old, and I've tried to put you in a graph. What are my communities that are the reflections of my desires, okay? The first one is unconditional love. You need that. I need that. I need to be able to love somebody without no conditions. And I need to be loved without no conditions. Who can provide me that? That's my family, right? And some of my friends. The other things I want for me, I'm still growing. I'm mostly 50 years old, but I need people to tell me when I'm wrong. I need people to tell me I'm not that good. Who tell me that? Who can provide me that? It's friends. So to me, friends is for growing. I could have put fun, right? Because you like to go to the karaoke with your friends. But I choose, and the guys who spend time with me during this day, I like to put things in one word because it forces you to make one decision. The friends for me is for grow. Now, pure emotions. What gives you pure emotions? Yeah, it's music. Because in music, I don't have to think. It's just the heart. You take the instrument, you sing, you play, you don't think. You just give your emotions. And when you listen to music, you just want to hear their emotion. You don't care about how much it costs, etc. My music project, so that studio, that music label, I'm only spending money. It cost me until today 300,000 euros just for that. Just for that. Because in my universe, it didn't exist. You've seen at the beginning of my career, it was Microsoft, Facebook, no music. So I had to invest into that, right? So this is pure emotion. I'm giving the money, all I want is emotions. And it cost me a lot. Then I want adventure. This is part of me. Who gives me adventure? This is tech enterprises, ocean, space. I didn't choose SAP kind of enterprises. I choose ocean and spaces, adventure. Adventure, ocean, space, it makes me travel. And the last thing is I want to have an impact because I'm old. Well, I'm kind of old. I've been lucky to have enough for me. Now I have to give back to feel good about myself. So how I can do that? Non-profit. And if you go back to my professional career, at Facebook, I worked for charity businesses. And I started to do that. And now in 2022, I'm still working for non-profit. It's part of me. And the last one, guess what? For my roots. Where am I here? I'm in Vietnam. Yeah. So that's the last community I need to build back from my roots, right? Because I lost that. I lost that in a way. I was born in France. So I'm very sorry to speak to you in English. This is wrong. I should speak to you in Vietnamese. My grandfather told me, you should learn Vietnamese. I was not listening. Now I know. I have to learn. And I have to come here to make another community. This is my root. So I'm looping back to where I was a baby, right? So that's how you build yourself with the community. Look for your desires and see where are the peers, right? So my roots is very simple. It's here, it's the country, it's Vietnam, right? Okay, so what I suggest is now we have time to talk to each other. So listen to your desires, all of them. And maybe here, there might be one peer that have the same desire with you. And it might be in an association or an organization, you might be do something and you start creating these communities. And by this, you get to be happy and have all this, okay? Thank you. So yeah, what about you now? Any question? Or time off? You need a mic? Sorry?
Thank you for
Annam or Nam, not Mr. Nam. That's
today.
you.
Actually, I'm an ex-athlete. I'm an ex-athlete. So my question is that for all the working you have done before, all those careers, have you had a plan before, or it's just come to you and you just do it?
Did it come to me?
Yeah.
Did you have a plan?
This is a very good question. So, oops, I lost the sound. Hello? Oh, okay. I was thinking about two scenarios about the presentation. One of the other scenario, the first thing I thought about was the people, the persons that brought me from the advertising agencies to Microsoft, and the people that went bring me to Microsoft to Facebook, and the people that taught me to make Facebook to Quant, and the people that took me to Microsoft to the startup. And I realized it's 5 persons. 5 persons. And they all go back to Microsoft. There's 5 persons in my life, in my work life, that brought me to all the career opportunities. It's not, Facebook didn't call me. Bill Gates didn't call me. I didn't apply to the job. It's just yeah, Mark didn't call me. I've touched him, but he didn't call me. So I follow the people I like. So I didn't went to Facebook because Mark Zuckerberg was the boss of Facebook. I did that because I had a friend I work with. No, I had a co-workers at Microsoft that became a friend. He left Microsoft to Facebook. And then another co-worker who was a friend moved to Facebook. And they say, "You're happy, guys?" "Yeah, we're happy." So then I should go. If you don't follow the brand, you don't follow the leader, you follow your friends. That's how you build your community, right? Community is made about friendship. So the guy the person who got me into Microsoft was a friend of mine that I got in the advertising agency. She went to Microsoft. She told me, "Now you should come. And if a person that you like tell you you should come, you should come." And I realized that all these jumps was made by friends calling me. It was all friendship. Does that answer your question?
I have another question. Talking about the building a community, my job now is a freelance MC, and
Okay.
I'm aiming to be a lifestyle influencer. So do
Oh.
you have any advice for
You're using Instagram,
Facebook?
TikTok? Okay. I made I worked for French government. I worked for the French army. I worked for the national police, how to make them look good on Instagram. So I have a few advice, right? The best advice, so the Facebook page from the French government that the highest numbers of fans, it's a Gendarmerie Nationale. You say Gendarmerie Nationale? It's a military police. That the guys, when you're striking in the street, they hit you in the face. That's their reputation. But in the Facebook world, they are the page with the highest number of fans. And you know what? Because when they publish, they use the smartphone, and they take the picture as they are today. Like they don't cheat on who they are, right? When they did the Merry Christmas video, it was very funny because it was a different office from the military police doing each part of video, a few seconds, and each video it was clear it was made with cheap smartphones, but it looked true, it looked honest, and when you're honest on this social media, you can jump high, right? But then you have the opposite examples of people using filters, right, and also get high. So there's two ways of success on social media. Be yourself or Hollywood. You have to choose, right? And the price is not the same. Being yourself in the front of the world, it costs you. Lying to the world, it costs you in effects, in filters, in having a Mac with After Effects, in Hollywood effects, right? It costs you millions. The cost is not the same. But to me, there's like two ways, right? Be yourself or Hollywood, you choose.
I sometimes say it's also whether you're on Netflix or you're on a Korean drama, but don't try to...
Yeah, don't be in the middle. Don't be in the middle.
Film hand down Hollywood, Netflix, or your Korean drama, but don't, it's tough.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for your questions.
Mọi người có câu hỏi là đặt cho anh Nam không ạ? Cả tiếng Việt và tiếng Anh.
Hello, my name is Sweet, and I want to ask a question that I see that on your screen you have a lot of circles. So I want to ask that when did your circle change, and how do you manage, like you have a lot of circles, right? Like what did it overwhelm you sometimes?
Do you mean because it takes too much time?
Yeah.
When you say you manage in my day-to-day life?
Yeah, or like how can you handle a lot of circles, and when did the change of this?
Okay. Well, what do you do for what is your...
Actually, I'm a college student, and besides sitting at university, I'm
Okay.
also doing Instagrams.
Okay, so my guess is you're younger than me, right?
Yes.
So probably half of my age, so you're still studying, okay. When I was, I always been, even when I was a teenager, I was being like, I need to do plenty of things. Otherwise I get bored, So I think even in, I learned
I think you could speak without the microphone.
Okay, I've learned. So when I was student, I was at business school. I even learned to code HTML because I was bored, right? Like books like that. So I need that activities. But I had maybe I had 3 circles, only 3. Which one? My family, my high school friends, and the Vietnamese Union. That was my 3. I didn't have time for music because I was studying a lot. Now I have more, and I'm pretty sure if I look back years after years, there are probably times when I didn't have much, right? So now, if the question is how do you do to have all this, so I think you must be very clear of what you want from who. That's why I put this word between me and the bubbles, right? If you expect from friends to bring you adventure, growth, unconditional love, pure emotions, then spend all the time with your friends, right? But if you're very clear that your friend is about growing, then spend only the time when you need someone to tell you the truth about yourself. And that's what I do. The sad thing is I never go out with my friend at karaoke when they ask me. Because actually when they do it in karaoke, I'm recording music, right?
Because they don't sing very well, your friends.
So yeah, it asks you sacrifices. It means that for each of these bubbles, you must have a very clear purpose and you stay focused on that. And Facebook, working at Facebook helped me being very straight and very rigorous on priorities, right? And I've learned that, so if I focus on grow with my friends, I mean, the relation I've got from my friendship, that's strong, right? That's strong because they tell you the truth. I tell you the truth. There are not many, but man, it's strong. It's like family. At the beginning when I was preparing the slide, I was telling family, friends, or friend, family, but finally I just named it friends. So you need to be focused on what you want for each community, and you can have plenty. You can have plenty. Even now, at your age, when I was young, I didn't have the maturity to make the right choices. I was like, oh, going everywhere. Does that answer your question? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Laurent. My background is relatively similar to yours. So I had questions regarding your mapping of your dance. And I was curious to know if this map, how did you get to this map as it is now, as life is a work in progress, and that you discover through your life experience, professional experience, friends, personal growth, what your ultimate priorities, goals are, and this map, I assume, is also moving. The circle can be sometimes smaller, sometimes bigger. How do you deal with this? How did you come up with a sort of foundation? Because the foundation is important. So if you could share your experience on this.
So I'm going to be very honest on that. I spent hours with a psychotherapist. I spent hours reading books about self-development, from existentialism by Jean-Paul Sartre, which means just count on yourself, to Feng Shui. I was talking about Feng Shui or what is Stoicism, or the song God by John Lennon influenced me. There's so many influence you can have. And when you're Vietnamese culture, you're like, I'm too shy to be myself. You know, you don't allow yourself to be yourself. That's part of the culture. So you're right, there's many barriers to get to that map. It's not that easy, okay? So it took me the half of my life to get there. So yeah, it's not easy. So how I do it, I don't put barrier to myself. No barriers, no fucking barriers to myself. Barriers is bad. There's two things I follow, is no barriers, and now, does that give me a good sensation? So I was talking about Feng Shui with Candice. Feng Shui is about positive energy. So does that thing give you positive energy or negative energy? So no barriers, go see. You feel like, oh, I feel like it could bring me something. It could be a book, it could be someone, it could be a place, it could be anything, it could be a meal, it could be someone from a different culture, it could be anything. You feel, I feel interested, then go ahead. And you ask a question, and do you feel something positive, then there might be something good for you. So see, if I put that in kind of system, I think you have to listen to your intuition, if it's positive. You have to experience, and sometimes it's a mistake, it was wrong. You go back, and you try. And you try. So I know I'm very bad dancer. I know I know there's things that I don't like, yeah, and that people like. But I tested a lot of things. That's why probably in my career I made so many things, because I wanted to test. So my advice would be just no barriers, and do you feel something positive, then go ahead, try it. And try it until it becomes not good. Hope it answers your questions.
Thanks. Did you spend as much money on music than on therapy?
No. No. But I had the luck to, I think I spend a lot of time to choose the person I'm talking to. So there's like in music, there's plenty of musicians. And actually I have very good friends that are musicians, but on the music space, we don't understand each other, right? A lot of, it happens, it was a big deception for me. But so choosing the person you're going to talk to, the first one is quite important. Yeah. And I had the learn for the psychotherapy, she told me, you're my longest client ever. And she's the only one I've seen in my life. So I was very lucky. And that's kind of a feng shui sign. You know, things, the invisible part of destiny, there's no destiny in feng shui. The invisible part of things, when you feel things is right. You should listen to that, and it's easier. And I think we don't listen enough to intuition. Intuition is very powerful. Oh, okay.
Hi, Anna. Hi, mọi người. My name is I work for a non-profit organization to have children. And thank you for sharing about your designs. I think it's really interesting and clear to see the circle. But based on the question from this, so I have a different way of thinking. Like you have the circle, but I don't see the connections between the circles.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and
good question.
everything are connected. Like you have unconditional love from your family, but you also have the pure emotion with your daughter or your sons. So
okay.
It's like I think that in my thinking there are the connections between your circles.
Yes, and I thought about how can I show the connections in a 2D slide PowerPoint.
Right.
That was a problem. Actually, that was a problem. So the magic about storytelling is you speak fast, you stay very confident in what you do, and you expect that nobody is going to see the trick, right? So yeah, there are connections. Of course, there are connections, but not as much as we think. So the funny thing is, some people from the bubble of tech enterprises, they don't know I'm a musician. Most of them don't know about it because I never talk about it. I used to be very secret about that and not talk about it. And some people, well, I started to be more public about that. And some people, and the people from the music, I'm working with professionals. When I talk to them about what I do as living, they look at me like that. Like they the mind is you're actually a good musician, but you're also working with the French government about the COVID-19 doing at Facebook. Yes, and so there are connections, but the magic is if you truly follow your desires and you stay very focused on each of these bubbles, the connection can be quite different. Why? Because every one of us is unique. Our own desires logic is ours. Mine is not yours. So if you really follow your desires, you will realize that some bubbles are very disconnected. The only connection is you. So the connection between these bubbles, it's not important to me, right? That's why by representing that, I also in 2Ds, I prefer it represented as separate bubbles. Now for the family pure emotion questions. So family unconditional love is not an emotion. Unconditional love, it's unconditional love. There's nothing to do with emotions. There's emotions in love, but unconditional is about love, is about the contract you do with your children. I will never let you down. This is not emotions. This is principles. This is values. This is unconditional is more than just emotion. There's emotion, but it's not. So for me, it's very different. And pure emotions in the artist world is dream, imagination. Sometimes, so I'm with my wife since I'm 20 years old. So it's been 28 years I'm with the same woman. My songs about a guy that don't have a girl. All my songs, all the songs I've written with my hand are about a guy that don't have a girl. So at the moment I think about pure emotion and no barriers, I can write whatever I want, right? Whatever I want. So but you're right, there's a few songs about my children, and I'm actually finishing them to offer them at Christmas. So you're right, there's a connection. But it's, for me, you should not think about that, so you can follow any direction you want. And sometimes it moves you away from your family.
Vậy nghĩ chắc là đây là câu hỏi cuối cùng trước khi mình bước sang cái phần mình không có quá nhiều thời gian. Just the last question for this guy.
Okay.
Started late, right?
Yes, and we can chat here, it's fine. But go ahead, please.
So, hello Anna. My question is like, my name is Quỳnh Hương, and I'm the founder of a startup too. So with different circles, so I have also different circles, and I also have like different desire. But the problem is like your time, you only have like 24 hours a day, and sometimes I find like if they put so much of my time in my work, or time in music, or time in other friends, and finally I don't have time for
other things.
And then I have to make sacrifice, and sometimes it's like it's a cost.
Yeah.
Like if you put so much time on work, then you don't have time for your friends. How can you balance?
So,
how can you find your balance?
Yeah, so for the tech enterprises, I've decided I'll never be a founder of my own company. Because I've tried to experience that idea of being my own entrepreneur, having my own company, and I know it takes a lot of place. And I knew that I need all those bubbles, so by becoming an entrepreneur, it will take all the place. So actually what I'm doing is I'm very often the second hand of a CEO. All the startups I'm working with, I'm talking directly to the CEO, right? So I had this thrill of entrepreneurs, but it's not my company. I can go home at 7, look at Netflix, play guitar, and go to sleep, right? So that's why. And for the music, well, I've decided I will never be Beyonce, right? I will never be a star. Like my Instagram account as a musician, when you look at when I score myself in social media, so LinkedIn, I have 2,500 connection. Facebook, I think I have about 1,000. Instagram, which is the artist, I have 400. Okay, so that's fine. 400, it's for an artist is like no, not good. I'm fine with that. So I just go in the direction. Now I accept that I can't be the best in all these areas. That's not possible. So if I would rate the place I want to be like perfect, that would be family first. And the rest, well, we'll see. But you can't be at top everywhere. So being an entrepreneur is like, yeah, it takes a lot of place. Maybe one last question? Or?
Hello, my name is Thảo. I'm BA as an officer and I live now several times in this week. But this is my question. So the first question is similar like about how any tip you can control on your journey in the community. So, but you already answered that. I will ask the second question. Is so right now I see that it's very easy to jump in any community if you want. You can share any on the Facebook, the group, the people that the same desire you want. But I have an issue with the online group. We easy to jump in, to understanding, easy to learn from them. But it's really hard to start a community, to start the first connection with the community. So any tip for the people?
You mean to start the conversation?
Yes, exactly. Or jump in something helping you to start that community.
Okay.
Or do I need to find any people, mentor or something? The tip to start.
Okay. So I would be honest. I'm very bad at first connection. So if you see me at any social event, because I don't drink, or because I get bored easily, I'm the guy sitting alone on a chair. That's me. So I have tips I can give you, but I'm not the best student in social events.
In real life.
Now I'm being honest. Now how I think about it, right? So Facebook groups, I know a bit about that. It's very powerful to find communities. That's a great tool. You should use that. We're in 2022. You should use digital tools to create your communities. That's for sure. But that's not sufficient. You don't. So since I don't like wasting my time with people that in too much social events, I choose the people I want to talk to, right? So I've been I look at everyone. Even in the meeting we have, I may look like I'm talking, I'm looking at you guys. And I'm analyzing each one of you. And so I have this, it creates some experience. I go to the people, to the person, I think it would happen. Because from my experience, the best friend I had no effort to do, ever, in any situation. So you don't have many best friends, right? But if you think about it, your best friends, you never had an effort to connect with them. Right? Even when you're a shy person. Even the shyest person, that the best filters to find their best friend. The shyest person will tell you, I don't have many friends. No, you have what you need. You have your best friends. So don't feel guilty. Don't feel bad about not being able to connect to people, right? You could be better at that, but become a salesperson. That's a job, right? Be aligned with who you are. Listen to your intuition and go to the person that you feel pleased to talk to and you don't have an effort to do. The rest, is don't care. You don't care. One of the things I talked to my therapist, so I was ashamed because in any social situation, my friends know that I don't talk to anyone. Oh, Nam is a guy who is, well, he doesn't look like you want to talk to him. Like I'm like this, and when someone talk to me, I'm like this, and I'm a horrible person in social situations. And she told, and I was feeling guilty about that. And she said, why don't you talk to him? Because I feel bored. Well, you're bored. And that's it. Why do you feel guilty about that? Why do you feel guilty about not being able to talk to someone? Don't stop being guilty. Just follow the people that you're pleased to talk to. So Facebook groups are great, but they're not good enough to give you a sense of the person. You know, 75% of language is body language. And you seem to be kind of an artistic person. That's what I sense to you. An artistic person, they have high sensitivity. And what called HPE, high potential emotional. So these people, they can see small move of the faces and take a lot from that without knowing it. Sometimes these people feel things and they don't know why they feel things, because they saw the signals of a bunch of people. That's intuition. And sometimes it's just enough to, oh, I want to talk to that person. Go ahead. But you won't have to make the effort. So Facebook group is great, but physical life is better. So sometimes I push myself to go to social events because I thought to myself, okay, I will be bored for 99% of the time, but there may be that 1% or that 0.15% of people that might be a game changer for me, because he will be the person that's going to be my best friend for life. You never know. So you go to that event. If you get bored and you sit on a chair and they will, oh, it's a guy you don't give a shit, you're just that person, right? Okay? So it's not a real answer, but that's my tip.
Happy with that tip.
So maybe we should.
And the last question.
Okay.
Và chúng ta đã vừa kết thúc cái phần discussion, và sau đây em xin mời tất cả mọi người chúng ta cùng di chuyển ở phía sau. Chúng ta sẽ sử dụng phần tea break và cùng trò chuyện cùng với anh Nam cũng như là những vị khách ở đây. Trong một chút nữa thì chúng ta sẽ quay trở lại đây và kết thúc cái buổi IT ngày hôm nay. Mọi người có ai bận phải về trước không ạ? Dạ, nếu vậy thì bây giờ em mời mọi người cùng lên đây mình chụp trước một vài tấm ảnh để nếu mà có ai về thì mọi người có thể về sau khi mình chụp hình nha. Mời mọi người chúng ta cùng lên phía trên này nhé.